Before we jump into the episode today, I want to share something with you from my heart. First of all, thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I really can't tell you how much your support means to me. We've been doing the podcast now for almost 4 years. I can't even believe it. And I'm so grateful for each and every single one of you that listens, shares an episode with your friends, sends me a DM or a text message letting me know how an episode resonated with you or any aha moments. Seriously, I couldn't be more grateful to be able to create this podcast. It has been such a blessing in my life, and I love hearing the ways it's been able to provide value in yours as well. One thing you might not know is how much work it takes to be consistent with a podcast. In fact, did you know that the majority of podcasts don't make it past episode number 10? And we are well beyond that. And it's just a lot thinking of the episodes, recording them, editing them, managing the guests, making sure that everything runs smoothly and gets uploaded consistently and regularly. And so that's why I have created an amazing opportunity for you to support the podcast monetarily. And in exchange for that, you will get exclusive premium subscriber content. So for as little as $3 a month, you can become a premium subscriber of the podcast. And every month I will upload new voice-guided workouts and breathwork meditation audio for you. So that way you can work out with me, coaching you in your ears. You can also take a moment to reduce your stress and relax and come down and ground down with one of my breathwork audios. So if that is on your heart to support the podcast for as little as $3 a month to become a premium podcast subscriber, I can't tell you how much that means to me and the growth of this podcast. I appreciate you. If you're interested, click the link in the description, become a premium podcast subscriber, new content every month, and while supplies last, I'll send you an exclusive podcast coffee mug so you can have your self-love and sweat coffee every morning. I appreciate you. Now let's get into the show. Welcome to Self-Love and Sweat, the podcast, the place where you'll get inspired to live your life unapologetically, embrace your perfect imperfections, break down barriers, and do what sets your soul on fire. I'm your host, Lunden Souza. Hey, have you grabbed your free Self-Love and Sweat monthly calendar yet? This calendar is so amazing. It comes right in your inbox every single month to help you have a little nugget of wisdom, a sweaty workout, a mindset activity, just a little something to help keep you focused and motivated and keep that momentum towards your goals. So every day when you get this calendar, you'll see a link that you can click that will lead to a podcast episode or a workout or something that will be very powerful and quick to read. And then you'll also see on the top left corner of every single day, there's a little checkbox in the calendar. And what that is that's for your one thing. You can choose one thing every month, or it can be the same, something that you want to implement, and make this something that you can easily implement, like daily meditation or getting a certain amount of steps or water, for example, and staying hydrated, and even taking your supplements. This can be something if you want to get more regular doing a particular habit and routine, you can choose what that checkbox means. So if you want your Self-Love and Sweat free monthly calendar delivered right to your inbox every month on the first of the month, go to lifelikeLondon.com/calendar, fill out the form really quickly, and you will have your calendar in your inbox within a few short minutes. That's lifelikeLondon, lifelikeLondon.com/calendar. Go get yours for free and enjoy this episode. Happy today. Welcome to this quick mindset reset. These quick and short episodes on the podcast where I share some profound learnings that I've experienced in my life, either that came through a meditation or through an experience with somebody else. And hopefully this brings value to you and helps you see things a little bit differently, helps you have that little mindset reset. But this particular learning came from a young child. I think she's maybe like 10 or 11 years old. And I work with students in the afternoon, students that have learning disabilities or attention, attention or hyperactivity. Situations in their life where it prevents them from really fully integrating in school, really fully integrating into the life experience that is where we are now, right? So so in the afternoons, I do that with a company called Brain Balance, which I love. And there's a lot of physical activity that we get these kids to do. And because there's a lot of research that's showing that a child's core strength can be related to some of our eye pattern movements and our ability to track with our eyes, our ability to read and follow the lines and then track back to the following lines. There's a lot of really cool research through this company, Brain Balance, and that is showing, a lot of the physical stuff, the physical strength can affect other areas of students' lives when it comes to learning and things like that. So I had a student, and we do a lot of exercises for the core, like, stomach core, back core, side core. And there was one student I was working with, and she's really strong and she's getting up to some of those higher levels on core. And she was getting ready to hold a side plank for kind of a long time, about a minute. And she goes, "Oh, I never can hold it for this long." And I was like, well, if you say that before we go into this side plank, what do you think you're going to do? Do you think you're going to hold it for that long, or do you think you're not going to hold it for that long? And you could see her kind of eyes move around and her processing a little bit. And I go, let's switch that mindset. Like, what are you going to switch it to? I can never do this. And she switched it to, I go, what are you going to switch it to? And she goes, I switched it to, I never give up. And lo and behold, she held the side plank for 1 minute on both sides, which before I think she had only gotten to maybe like 30, 32 seconds, something like that. So this was a very significant moment of learning for her. And I just remember sitting there and having that moment and thinking, oh, I have to share this on the podcast because this is so important and so helpful. I hesitate to use universal quantifiers like always and never and all of that. But I just really appreciated her brain and her mindset when it came to switching from this one version of never, right? I can never hold it the entire duration, to I never give up. And I just thought that was really beautiful. And she just, I think it's so cool I love spending time with kids, and you learn so much from their brilliant brains, their curious brains. And that was such a huge learning for me, something I'll probably keep with me forever. And she, you could tell it resonated with her too. I was like, see, when you switched your mindset and you decided that never was going to mean you never give up, look how strong your side plank was. Like, look how sturdy you were. Look how still and strong you were. And for those of you that exercise, or, you know how planks are, it's like an isometric exercise. So you're not moving. Isometric is just like an exercise where you hold it, right? But if any of you have ever done a plank, even for a minute, it can be really challenging, and it can be, you'll start to get the trembles, your core will start to shake, your body will start to shake, but you still can do it. And each second that you hold it a little bit longer, you're getting stronger. And so, maybe that speaks to you today. Maybe there's a moment or a phrase that you find yourself repeating to yourself that has never, like, oh, I'll never get this job, or I'll never, whatever that might be, fill in the blank of what you might be telling yourself. And maybe you can switch that to, I never give up. The way that she said that was really helpful. And of course, if we really dig deep into words, there might be moments where it's time to like, okay, no, I'm going to give up on that and transition into this, right? Whatever. But like when it comes to exercise, instead of saying, okay, I can never do this, and instead changing that to, I never give up, that can be really powerful. And so I challenge you to look at your inner dialogue this week and think about what things you put limits on with your words, right? Maybe there's something I never, fill in the blank. whatever that might be for you. And how can you flip that to I never give up? And I want to hear about it because it's always helpful when you share. So you can share it with me either by replying to any of my emails I send out to you. If you're on my newsletter list, you can just hit reply. All the replies go to me. And if not, you can, or if you don't want to do email, you can hit me up on Instagram in the DMs. I'm at Life Like Lunden, and you can send me a DM and be like, hey, Lunden, I listened to your QMR episode about never giving up, and here's how it spoke to me. I think it's always nice to share those learnings and express those learnings and get them out into the world, because sometimes it can be easy to like listen to a podcast and, have a learning or whatever, but then you don't share it with anybody. You don't write it down. You don't reflect on it. And then later on you forget it, right? So I don't want you to forget any of the aha moments you've had from today's quick mindset reset. Go ahead and hit reply to any of those emails or send me a message on Instagram at Life Like Lunden. I would love to hear from you. And that's it for today's quick mindset reset. Have a beautiful day. See you at the next episode. Bye. Hey, really quick, I want to interrupt the podcast for just a minute to tell you about one of my favorite supplements for hair, skin, nails, digestive, and gut health. And that is Snap Supplements Super Greens with Collagen. Now, if you're following me on social media, you've probably seen me post about this a bunch because honestly, this product tastes amazing and it's jam-packed with nutrients, like I said, to support healthy hair, skin, and nails. It helps support detoxification, a healthy immune system, and there's even probiotics in there for a healthy gut. It's non-GMO, no sugar added, soy-free, grass-fed collagen, and every scoop is going to give you 7 grams of protein. And this is why I love it, because it's not like a protein shake. It's just a scoop of powder. It tastes amazing. I put it in water, or if I want more hydration, I'll put it in coconut water and mix it up. And it's like having a nice, refreshing beverage that's packed with a bunch of super greens and protein. So what I'm super excited about is that for listening to the podcast, you'll get this discount here, nowhere else, but for listening to the podcast. You can save 25% off on all your Snap supplement purchases, including the Super Greens with Collagen. And you do that by using code LUNDEN25 at checkout. That's LUNDEN 25. LUNDEN 25 to get 25% off at checkout. You can shop on snapsupplements.com, or you can shop on my website, lifelikelunden.com/supplements. And you'll see there's already an additional 10% taken off. But you, because you're a podcast listener, you're going to get 25% off when you use the code LUNDEN25 at checkout. LUNDEN 25 at checkout to get your Snap Supplements, Super Greens, and Collagen, and all your Snap supplements for 25% off. Now, let's get back to the show. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Self-Love and Sweat, the podcast. Hey, do me a favor. Wherever you're listening to this podcast, give us a review. This really helps a lot. And share this with a friend. I'm only one person, and with your help, we can really spread the message of self-love and sweat and change more lives all around the world. I'm Lunden Souza, reminding you that you deserve a life full of passion, presence, and purpose, fueled by self-love and sweat. This podcast is a Hit Spot Austria production.